Today I'm here with Condoleezza Rice. Condoleezza is one of the most influential women of global politics. She also served as the 66th United States Secretary of State and was the first female African American Secretary of State. She was the first woman to serve in the position of National Security Advisor. She played a crucial role in shaping the most aggressive U.S. foreign policy in modern history. With the declare of the war on Iraq during her time in office. Condoleezza, what was it like growing up in Birmingham, Alabama, where schools were segregated? And did you have a positive image of what women could be?
Well, I grew up in segregated Birmingham, attending public schools, and it didn't really faze me. I was kind of oblivious to the things around me, and I lived day by day. I was never really the plan your life out type of person. And as far as positive images, my mother and community were my positive images. Everyone in the community made sure that we had everything we need, and they also taught us how to live in the world that we were in at that time.
So you graduated high school at the age of 15. Did you know that you were smarter than the average person?
It didn't really hit me until I was in graduate school. And then I thought, wow, I'm pretty good at this. But then, up until then, I'd been a procrastinator. Therefore, I was never prepared for class.
What is your responsibility as the National Security Advisor?
Well, as the National Security Advisor, I'm responsible to help shape the foreign policy on the public front and behind the scenes and strategy with the President and his team.
How do you feel when all eyes are on you?
Well, it's not my favorite part of the job. I feel pretty confident in my position, but some days I don't even read the newspaper because I don't want to know what people are saying about my life.
Would you say that the judgment of others is one of the biggest conflicts of your job?
Definitely not. I think the biggest challenge of my job is being an African American woman.
Yes.
But I always tell everyone I've been black all my life, and you can't tell me what it is to be black.
Who informed the President of all the attacks of 9/11?
I was the first person to inform George W. Bush of the attacks. If I recall correctly, it was about 8:15 when my executive assistant came in to inform me that the first plane hit the World Trade Center. I was in a meeting, and I ended it quickly and told the President as soon as I could.
What were your first thoughts about the attacks?
Well, at first I thought it was a strange accident, but then when the second plane hit, I knew it was a terrorist attack. I began thinking of my nation's security and all the council principals and wondering who else was in danger. We were advised to go to the bunker, and at that time the President was out of town, so we didn't want him to come back into D.C. while we were still in danger.
What exactly happened in the bunker?
Well, I wanted to let my family know that I was okay, so I called my aunt and uncle who live in Birmingham, and I told them to let the rest of the family know that I was fine, and then I just got back to business. I made sure that everything in the United States government was still up and running, and then I began tracking the planes. I made sure all the planes stayed grounded in the United States and all over the country.
Did you ever expect something like this to happen, and how do you think our country could have been better prepared for an incident like this?
Well, Al-Qaeda has caused several events before, so I never doubted the possibility, but we've never suspected America to be the country under attack. Although we have a high level of intelligence, we've never experienced people using themselves as a weapon.
What was George W. Bush like, and what was you guys' relationship like?
Well, George and I were always very comfortable with each other. I could tell him just about anything that fell in the policy realm. He's very smart and well-disciplined. He's tough and calm and always follows his strategies. And a fun fact, George and I have similar sense of humor, finding the same things hilarious.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you agree with the decision to declare war on Iraq?
I wholeheartedly agreed with the decision to declare war on Iraq. The United States just couldn't sit back and let our country fall under attack. Something had to be done about the events that occurred on September 11th.
If we catch Osama bin Laden, do you think that the terrorists that follow him will retaliate?
We worry about the situation either way. We are arresting different members of the group every day, It's just the rest of the country doesn't hear about it. Our real goal is to make sure that the terrorists won't be able to operate from Afghanistan again. But we know that the organizations have traveled to other places. So on a positive note, the whole world has focused on these organizations.
Do you think the Iraqi war was a good use of our time, efforts, and money?
Yes and no. The war obviously had to happen because of the attack on September 11th. We couldn't just let a situation like that slip away. Having said that, I think we should have pulled the troops out of Iraq, in addition to finding other ways to support the war instead of having solely rely on American tax dollars.
Were you the most influential on President Bush about attacking Iraq?
Although many people think I was, I don't believe I personally was the most influential. Although I did have an influence on his decision, I think that Colin Powell made a very powerful presentation, and that had a big effect on President Bush's decision to go to war.
What are your current thoughts on Operation Iraqi Freedom?
I'm thrilled that this operation is underway. It is past time that our troops have come home from Iraq, and they've been over there for far too long, and I'm so excited for this operation to take place next year.
Yes, thank you to our troops in Iraq, and thank you, Ms. Rice, for being here today to talk to us about the war on terror.
No problem.